Yes, it's John G. Sutton. Tales from the jails. I'm going to talk today a little bit about smuggling drugs into prison. I've talked about bribery and corruption in my last one. This is about what happens with the drugs and how they get them in. Because in the news today there is a story about Style Prison in Cheshire, which was being subject to a unique form of drug smuggling. What's been happening is the female occupants, a female prison of course, Style, the occupants have been smuggling drugs in through the supply of clothing parcels. What they've been doing is they've been getting extra large knickers and bras and all that, and getting them sent in, and then they smoke them. Yeah, cut them into strips and smoke them. You might think, who would want to smoke a pair of underpants? Well, they soak them in a liquid form of this, they call it the zombie drug, don't they? Spice. Never had any. I wouldn't know what the hell it does, but that's what they've been doing, soaking these garments in this liquid form of spice, then letting them dry out and parcelling them up and sending them into the inmates at Style, who have been ripping them or cutting them into and smoking them out to get out their heads on this crazy zombie drug called spice. So the prison has put a ban on all parcels coming in containing clothing. So they've had that. They said that also there's been a spate of letters being sent in where the paper has previously been soaked in this drug. So rather ingenious, I think. I'll tell you, when I was at the Scrubs, that it had a spate of smuggling vodka in a unique way as well. I mean, you've got to hand it to these people. They're thinking about it. What they're doing with the vodka was to get the vodka into a syringe, injecting a orange and pumping the orange full of vodka. Yeah, so they bring this fruit in. They were allowed to give them fruit, you see. So they got vodka and orange ready mixed in the actual orange itself. Yeah. Oh, I've previously mentioned about how they were making hooch on D-Wing. Yeah, distilling Brasso and boot polish, because it's not alcohol for consumption. It's not that kind of alcohol. It make you go blind, and it did indeed. Seriously affected a number of inmates on D-Wing. Never had anything like that. I mean, I used to brew beer. Well, my wife did, really. She was the one who did that, but it was really nice. Never had any homemade hooch in prison. If you look on to Sean Atwood's site, True Crime, he has a video up there that explains how to make hooch in prison. No doubt, well, he spent a few years in, Arizona, in prison over there for dealing in ecstasy, I think it was. You get caught doing that in America, they tend to throw the key away, so Sean Atwood did well to get out, I do believe, yeah. In strange ways, they had a spate of alcohol and cigarettes and all that. But going back to the 70s, that's what they threw in: alcohol and booze and cigarettes. That was the main thing. It was the main currency in the prisons. Because they can't really spend money, because there's nothing to spend it on other than the canteen, and everything you spend in there is logged. So couldn't spend it in there, so the currency was tobacco, mainly. I think it was called Golden Virginia, yeah, in these plastic pouches that folded up. I don't know how many, 4 ounces or something like that, yeah. Anyway, what they were doing was putting it into a parcel and throwing it over the walls. And the inmates on the morning tidy up, lifting all the ship parcels and all that, they used to collect these parcels from the side of the walls because they'd been thrown over, and then distribute them into the prison if they could get them in. So if you were in charge of the ship parcel parade in the morning, you had to be well aware of what was going on. Otherwise, you were assisting them in getting the stuff in. Another, obviously, an obvious way of smuggling drugs into prison would be through visits. And what they'd do, they'd have like the drugs in their mouth, usually in a condom, sealed up, and they keep it underneath the tongue as best they could, and then when they're kissing, pass it across, so the drugs went in. You should be careful not to swallow them, otherwise that's one way out of strange ways, in a box, if the things burst inside you. But they didn't do that, they just kept them in the mouth as far as I could see. But that's the reason why prison staff object to inmates kissing with visitors, because they're getting the drugs passed. The other one would be obviously hiding the drugs in some kind of package that they then slip to them, and they'd hide them themselves. In Sean Atwood's book Hard Time, I highly recommend it, by the way, you can get that off his site, I believe. Yeah, he describes how inmates would be hiding the drugs in their rectums. They'd package the drugs up, possibly in some kind of, maybe even a condom, yeah, and stuff that into their backsides, yeah, so that even though they go through a thorough search, yeah, they wouldn't detect that. Yeah, so very strange ways that inmates have of getting drugs into prison. The most efficient way I saw when I was in the prison, was to bribe the governors. Yeah, as I said, well, Scrubs, was one particular governor there who was trading in alcohol and smuggling stuff out for prisoners' letters and stuff like that. Yeah, and he was doing that in return for a regular service. And I'll leave that service up to your imagination. Only a little short one here today. Tales from the Jails. Don't forget, on Tuesday at 7 p.m. here on Tales from the Jails, I will be doing a live 1 hour broadcast on this channel, so you can type in your questions to me, ask me anything you want. That's 7 p.m. on Tuesday here, UK time, that is. And now, the moment that you've all been dreading. Ding dong ding, it's the song dinger. And today I've chosen, I have had a request actually, and I will get round to singing it, but I've only just heard the song, I've never heard it before. It's called The Guitar, which I liked very much. I don't know how I'm going to play the guitar that well in it though. I'll certainly give it a go, so I will get round to singing that. And in the meantime, you lucky people, yeah, you lovely boys, are you ready? I'm going to sing a song originally by the Ink Spots. Yeah, but it was also featured in It Ain't Half Hot Mum, with the two main characters there, Gunnar Sugden, yeah. Beautiful voice that chap had, whose name wasn't Gunnar Sugden, yeah. And it's Whispering Grass, originally by the Ink Spots. And now, I'm going to torture this one a little bit. raise it to the ground with my rendition of Whispering Grass. Why do you whisper green grass? Why tell the trees it ain't so? Whispering grass, the trees don't have to know. No, no. Why tell them all your secrets? Who kissed there long ago? Whispering grass, the trees don't need to know. Bum, 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 bum. Don't you tell it to the trees. She will tell the birds and bees, and everyone will know, because you told the blabbering trees. Yes, you told them once before, and it's no secret anymore. Why tell them all the old things? They're buried under the snow. Whispering grass, don't tell the trees, 'cause the trees don't need to know. Right now, you lovely boys. Now don't you tell it to the trees, 'cause they'll just run and tell the birds and bees. Then everybody'd know, 'cause you told them doggone trees. Yes, you did. You know you did. You told them once before. Now look at you, honey child, and it ain't no secret no more. Why tell them all the old things? They're buried under the snow. Whispering grass, don't tell the trees, 'cause the trees don't need to know. Thank you very much, you lovely boys, and I'll see you out here on Tales from the Jails. Oh, I'm lapsing into that character, aren't I? Shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, Tuesday at 7 p.m. here. This is Tales from the Jails. Thank you very much. We'll no doubt see you soon.